All right, class. So today we're going to focus on the urgency to learn how to read to yourself. In other words, we're going to understand the urgency to be independent, and as you learn how to read. One thing we're going to focus on that's going to be really important on today is going to be the 3 ways to read. However, on today we're only going to focus on the first two, which is to read the pictures and read the words. So again, we're going to do urgency to learn how to be independent as you read to yourself, but we're going to focus on only the first two, which is reading the pictures and reading the words. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to use Dr. Seuss to focus on the first one, which is to read the pictures. And that right there will be very crucial as you progress on from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade. Again, we're going to read Dr. Seuss ABC. But right now, the first thing we're going to focus on is just reading the pictures. So one thing that we understand is we see an alligator and we see a lady that's on the alligator, which is an auntie, Aunt Annie. So when we look at the picture, we see a barber, a baby, a bubble, and a bee. We see a camel that's climbing on the ceiling. We see Davy, Donald, Do, Dreams, a dozen donuts, a duck dog, 2. So we see a duck dog, we see donuts, and we see Davy, Donald, Do, who's dreaming. So we see an ear, an egg, and an elephant. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 fluffy feathers. We see the feathers. We see a goat and a girl with goggles. We see hungry. See a horse that's eating hay. We see them shouting. We see someone that's itching. We see some jam or jelly. We see a kitten, a kangaroo, someone sneezing. We see a lion, a leg, and a lollipop. We see mice, we see the moon. We see some neckties. A shirt and a nose. We see an ostrich and an owl and an oil. We see the letter P. We see paint, pajamas, police, pail. We see puppies. See a queen and a duck that's quacking. We see a rhinoceros. Someone is trying to ride. We see soda. Someone sipping. We see turtles that's in a tree. We see an umbrella and someone is standing in their underwear that's up under the umbrella. We see a violin. Saying someone think the music is very awful. We see some people inside the water washing. We see an axe and a fox. We see someone yawning and yelling, the yak. So as we just demonstrated, that was the first way to read, which is to read the pictures. I would like to now to find out what do we do or how do we go about choosing a book that we may begin to gather understanding. And so again, we want to focus on the urgency to become independent in our reading, which is to be doing it by yourself. So I would like for you to give me some examples of ways that you could read yourself as a student and be good at it. I think one thing that you need to be able to do is to be quiet. So you have to use your whisper voice when you're reading to yourself. I think the next thing you should be able to do is you need to be in one spot. Find a place that you're going to be comfortable, and so you need to stay in that one spot. The next thing I think you should be able to do is to help me while I'm working with others is you need to be able to read the whole time. You need to be able to be independent and quiet, stay in your area, and be able to read the whole time. So if you get a book that's too easy, maybe you need to get a little one that's going to be a little tougher so that you are able to be occupied the whole time to help build your stamina. The biggest thing you can do aside from being quiet and staying in one area and being able to read the whole time is really to pick a spot that you're not going to get in trouble. You don't need to be beside your friend. You need to be able to be in an area where you can really read and comprehend what you're reading. I think you need to also have your eyes on the book. You don't need to be looking up at me. You don't need to be looking at little Joey. You need to have your eyes on the book. You need to find a book that's going to be a good fit for you. And one way to get a book that's going to be a good fit is to use the acronym I-PIC. I meaning I look at a book. You need to have your purpose, which is aligned to the Daily 5. In other words, you need to be able to read to yourself, read to someone. You need to be able to work on your writing, listening while you're reading, and work on your word study. So while you're reading, you need to be working on your vocab. If you don't understand something, underline it, write it down, and we can address it later. But you need to use the I-PIC. So you're going to look at the book. In other words, I look at a book. You got to have a purpose. to while you're reading, find something that really interests you, whether it's because you love the author, whether you love that topic. It could be about sports, it could be about animals, but you need to find something that's very interesting. And you need to be able to comprehend. In other words, you need to be able to understand what you're reading. If you don't really understand or know all the words, then you need to find another book that interests you that you can understand. And again, you need to know all the words. If you know all the words, that means you're able to comprehend and it should be interesting to you. And if you can do that, then you got a good fit book. So you need a book that's going to be a good fit, but you need to be able to comprehend and understand all the words that you're reading. I think the last thing you should be able to do is it's going to help you build your stamina. And basically what that means is you're going to be able to read for a long period of time without having to stop or having someone to interrupt you or interrupt yourself because you don't understand something. And so the whole objective again is to create that urgency to be an independent reader. And if you can be an independent reader, you have to be able to do all this right here, which is to look at a book, to find your purpose, to have interest, to comprehend what you're reading, but also to understand and to know all the words. You know, and one way to do so, again, is to understand the 3 ways to read. And we covered the first one, which was to read the pictures. Now we're going to go over how to read the words. And I'm going to use Dr. Seuss' ABC book, and we're going to read the words this time. We're not going to focus on the picture, but we're going to read the words. So, big A, little a, what begins with A? Aunt Annie's alligator, A. Big B, little b, what begins with B? Barbara, baby, bubbles, and a bumblebee. Big C, little c, what begins with C? Camel on the ceiling, C. Big D, little d, Davy Donald do, dream, a dozen donuts, and a duck dog too. A, B, C, D, E, ear egg elephant, E. Big F, little F, 4 fluffy feathers on the fifth. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, goat girl, Google goggles, G. Big H, little h, hungry horse, hay, hen in a hat, hooray. Big I, little I, Ichabod is itchy, so am I. Big J, little j, what begins with J? Jerry Jordan's jelly jar and jam begin that way. Big K, little k, Keaton kangaroo, kick a kettle, kite, and a king's chew. Big L, little Lola lop, left leg, lazy lion, licks a lollipop. Big ice are making midnight music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Big N, little n, what begins with those? 9 new neckties and a nightshirt and a nose. O is very useful. You use it when you say, Oscar's only ostrich, oiled an orange old owl today. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Painting pink pajamas, policeman in a pail, Peter Pepper's puppies, and now Papa's in the pail. Big Q, little q, what begins with Q? The quick queen of Quincy and her quacking quackaroo. Big R, little R, Rosie Robin Ross. Rosie's going riding on her red rhinoceros. Big S, little s, silly Sammy Slick. Sipped 6 sodas and got sick. T, what begins with T? 10 tired turtles on a turtle tree. Big U, little u, what begins with U? Uncle Ubba's umbrella and his underwear too. Big V, little v, Vera Violet Vin is very, very, very awful on her violin. W, Willie Waterloo, washes Warren Wiggles who is washing Wally Do. X is very useful if your name is Nixie Knox. It also comes in handy spelling accent extra false. Big Y, little y, a yawning yellow yak. Young Yolanda Yorkison is yelling on his back. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Big Z, little z, what begins with Z? I am a zigger, zagger, zucks, as you can plainly see. Again, so to rehash what we just covered, we covered the urgency to become an independent reader, meaning you want to read it yourself. In order to do so, you have to know the 3 ways to read. However, we covered the first 2, which is reading the pictures, and then we're reading the words. In order to be able to read yourself, you need to be able to be quiet, you need to stay in one spot, you need to read the whole time, you need to pick a spot that won't allow you to become a talker. In other words, you'll be reading and not talking. You need to have your eyes on the book. You need to find a good fit book. In order to find a good fit book, we have to be able to use the I-PIC acronym, which means you're going to I, look at a book, P, have a purpose. In other words, your purpose could be if you want to be able to learn vocab, which is word study or spelling. You want to be able to listen to reading. If you don't understand something, you can work on writing by writing what you don't understand. You be able to read to someone. And big thing is reading to yourself, which is what we're covering. And you want to be able to, find something that's interesting. In other words, you have to love what you're doing, to love what you're reading. If you do so, then you'll be able to really stay focused on the book. And you want to be able to comprehend what you're reading. That simply means to understand. If you don't understand what you're reading, you're not really going to read. So you need to be able to comprehend what you're reading. And one way to comprehend what you're reading is to know all the words. If it's a word that you don't know, then underline it. But make sure you get a good book that allows you to understand all the words, to comprehend what you're reading, that's going to be interesting to you, that serves a purpose for you. And always look at that book. That'll be all.